You have reached review time with Emperiol. Today's review will be The Old Guard, starring Charlize Theron. Let's get into it. This movie kind of came out of nowhere, and it's quarantine time due to COVID. So, I'm pretty much, tuned in to watch movies as one of my strongest forms of entertainment. So I seen it pop up and decided to give it a watch. Decent movie. And let me start off at the beginning of this review. Subscribe and like the video. Share the video. Help the channel grow. Become a member to the Emperiol family. Let's get into it. So this movie is about some immortals that don't know how they became immortal. They just found out over time, and so what they elected to do is to use their immortality for the greater good. So through the courses of history, they have been using their immortality to do good in the world on different life events. And it starts with Andy, who is played by Charlize Theron. Then you have actress Kiki Lane. She plays as Nile. She's a key co-star in the movie as well. And then you have a familiar actor. He got a name, Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's played in a bunch of movies. His name is Copley in the movie. Nevertheless, let's get into it. So, Andy is the leader of this crew, and when you see the title, The Old Guard, you automatically thinking, okay, if it's the Old Guard, there has to be a new guard, or it's going to be something into that reference for it to be named titled that. So it's kind of exactly that. So she's been leading this platoon for her group for so many years. It's her and about 3 other guys, and she's been leading them for so many years, and it's kind of like she's tired of it in a sense. And other people are on to this mysterious group that has been over time and been living so long. So they have good tactical, like army, military tactical, where they use each other to get through different missions tactically, and like using swords and stuff like that, and they of course using guns and stuff, but they don't really have no real superpower. Their main superpower is that they can heal, so they can't die until whatever's in them says it's time, and then they never know when it comes, and then they're just dead. But up until then, they will always keep living. No matter what they experience, they keep living. They die, come back to life. And so what Andy started to realize is that every time she's getting hit, she's taking longer to heal. So that's like she's starting to feel, well, it's, she's starting to go through where it's almost her time to go. So Copley finds them, tells who they are. They're like mercenaries in a sense, and he kind of really sets them up. So he have them go in some like warehouse type place, and when they go into the warehouse place, people already know they're coming in, and they ambush them and shoot them up. And of course they drop down, and the men that's in there, they don't know who they're shooting, so they think they're all dead. And so they're sitting around, guns down, and then a few seconds later, they all pop back up and then start demolishing all the men. And they instantly realize that it was cameras inside of that room and realized they were being recorded and it was a setup. So their mission is now to find Copley to, see what's going on, why they set him up and everything. Well, it jumps to the next scene of Niall, where she's in the military and she is the leader of her group in the military, but she doesn't know what she is yet. So on a mission, one of the missions that she's on, they're in a group going there seeking a certain person in the town, and this guy is hiding out. He shoot at him, they're shooting back. She comes in and shoots him, he drops. But she wasn't trying to kill him, she just wanted to, wound him so he won't kill anybody. Meanwhile, she jumps over top of him trying to save his life, and he was like, get off me. Now her mate, that her person that was on in there with her was like, nah, let's get out of here. And she was like, no, he's not supposed to die. So she's busy trying to save him. When she's talking to her member that's on her team, he pulls out a knife and slices her throat, and she drops. And then her teammate seen that and was like, yo, oh man, pretty much she died right in front of me. Come to find out, a day or so later, it already showed her healing on a plane. So now she's kind of spooked out because she watched her die. And when she came to see her in the hospital, pretty much they was like, she was telling the other girl, like, yo, that's not normal. I watched her die. Like, they was like, well, maybe she didn't die or whatever, and you just, thought she was fatal, and her wound wasn't that fatal. And so, just be happy that, she ain't dead or whatever. So the other girl wasn't really happy with that because she knows something's off with that. So what she elects to do is go see her in the hospital. When she goes see her in the army, the military hospital, she's all healed up, no scars or nothing. And she was like, well, why you you don't even have a scar. And they say, yeah, they got this new skin graft surgery that they did or whatever. And so they're moving her on to another location, and she's hurt by that, because she feel like she's avoided. They already had her stuff packed for her, so she's feeling avoided. Meanwhile, when she sleeps, she dreams of the other group that Andy is running, and they dream of her. So Charlize, Theron character, Andy, says, I gotta go get her. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't leave her out there like that or whatever. I gotta tell her what she is and everything. So when she goes and get her, of course she's standoffish, like, basically, I don't know you, get away from me, whatever. And then the whole time she's busy trying to get away from Andy and not be bothered. But Andy's telling her, I know what you are. And she shot her, and of course she came right back to life and whatever. Say, how would I know that? Because I'm what you are, basically telling her, you're one of us and you gotta come with us now. But she was always standoffish, like, nah, I got a life, I got a family back home. She pretty much telling her, like, what you are, you're gonna have to forget about your family, because you pretty much, you're gonna watch, it's gonna hurt you more by sitting knowing that you can't die, and you're gonna watch all of your family die and you still live or whatever. So it's better off to say that you died in fighting for your country or whatever in the military, and leave it like that. So they finally get her back on board, but she follows them, but she really still standoffish, and pretty much Copley that set him up, he's really been hired by this rich guy named Merrick, and he's like in the tech world, and his mission is to find this group and take whatever they got and feed it into people so that they could make money off it for curing diseases and stuff like that. And so they think they could take whatever blood or whatever out of them and then make samples to cure diseases and stuff because they can't die. So you already see where this is going. This is going to be going. This is going to go south. So from there, they go. He got his group, and he know that once they shoot him, they die like a regular person. They will come back, but he gonna tranquilize them so that they remain weak the whole time, so he could do his experiment. So it was 4 of them. He was able to get 2, and Andy, Niall, and Booker was left, or whatever. So Niall, Andy pretty much told Niall, like, look, go about your business. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't leave a fallen person down. We got to go after them. Niall was like, I didn't want this. So she was like, well, here, take the keys, ditch the car when you get to where you need to get to, and then, you know, go see your family pretty much. But we have to, you know, we have to help them. So when they asked Andy during the times, they asked her, how old is she? How old is she? How old are you? You know, she never really says how old she is, but she's been around for a long while. So what comes about with that is she has a story, and the Niall is experiencing nightmares, and she keeps seeing a vision of a woman beating on something and is under distress. And so they tell her they know who it is. Booker says they start to explain, I know who it is. I know who you're having a dream about. So the name is Quinnen or something like that, like Kuhn or whatever. And what happened is her and Andy was soldiers together, but through the beginning of time, back in the Knights and King days and stuff like that, and they were soldiers together, fighting wars, doing their part. And then one time they got captured, and the people couldn't kill them, and they knew they were stronger together. So what they thought, the people thought of with a priest, like they are demon possessed. So what we're going to do is we're going to split them apart. We're going to take one of them, and they put quit into this like metal casting casket. And then what they did was they threw it over the flew it out to sea, and then threw it over the boat or whatever. So she died in pain and drowning and everything like that. So basically, by her being chained down there, every time she comes back to life, she's gonna keep drowning and dying every time or whatever, because she never has the time to pretty much just heal or whatever. So her spirit is still going strong out there. So that's what you experiment. And so Andy always took it as it was her fault, like that happened, even though it really wasn't Andy's fault. But she always took that pressure. Nevertheless, make a long story short, Andy gets captured because Booker, he really turns on the group and with Copley and them, and he told where they were going to be at. That's how they knew where they was going. And Booker, he just like, he wanted to get out. He wanted to stop doing what they doing. He just wanted to go live his life. And he was like, this ain't the way to go. You basically you sold us out. They could do anything to us or whatever. And then he shot her to wound her, but he seen she didn't heal. So he like, yo, what's going on? And this could be her time or whatever. They didn't know that, you know, she just getting older, so it's harder for her to heal fast. So Niall ended up coming back, and she sees Copley like, yo, where's Andy and all them? And he was like, pretty much, you know, he showed her the map of everything Andy was part of, and pretty much was like, yo, I messed up because this guy married, he wants to do bad things with them. I'm not part of that. And so she was like, Niall was pretty much like, yo, you need to show me where he got them captive at, and I need to go and help them. So that's pretty much what Niall goes do. She goes and help them, and she saves the day, and they stop Merrick and his group from trying to do what they do. Andy end up healing, and then the end result pretty much was Booker, even though he survived with them and he fought with them at the end, because he did trade on them, they just released him, like basically like, go about your business and you go on your own world and we're gonna keep doing us or whatever. So that's pretty much it. And then they start in a new unit with Niall, Andy, and Joe and Nikki is the other two guys' name. And Booker just went about his business. Now, that's how it went off. And they hired Copley. Copley's gonna be like the eyes and ears of everything, using all his knowledge and everything to help them along the way. And that's how it ends, so you think. Then it fast forwards 6 months later, and it shows Booker out coming somewhere where he was drunk, and when he comes into his apartment, wherever he at, or house, wherever he's at, in off country somewhere, he sees his doors open. So when he opens the door, he instantly comes in with his gun. And when he comes in with his gun, he sees the Quentin character that was enraged and mad all these years. He see her in his apartment, and she was like, Booker, I'm finally glad to meet you. And so she knew his name because he's always been dreaming of her, just like he was, he's always been dreaming of her like she was dreaming of him. So she's like, I'm glad to finally meet you. So that's like to say, this is gonna be a part 2 on this, you know what I mean? So this was a decent movie. You will not be mad with the watch. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 4 stars. That's definitely a decent watch. You won't be disappointed. Again, subscribe and like to this channel. Till next time.